Abuja, described the partnership as a major step in advancing Africa's role in the global space industry. She said the nation's investment in space could help address issues such as national security and stressed that African countries must play an active role in shaping global space policy. The director of the Kenyan agency, retired Brigadier Hilary Kipkowski, said the visit was to better understand NIGCOMSAT services and identify areas of cooperation and call for more engagement among African space agencies, as most of them only met once a year.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has stepped up Nigeria's campaign for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. During a meeting with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the UN headquarters in New York, Senator Shettima stressed that Nigeria deserved stronger backing from the global party, citing the country's role in peacekeeping, democracy, and regional stability. The talks also covered climate change, sustainable development, and Nigeria's growing partnership with the UN Development Program. Mr. Guterres praised Nigeria's advances in artificial intelligence, particularly the launch of Africa's first government-backed multilingual language model.
The National Union of Electricity Employees has ordered its members to embark on industrial action across the country over neglect of critical staff welfare. A statement by the Acting General Secretary of the Union, Dominic Igwebike, indicates that the action follows expiration of the ultimatum given to the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The statement explains that the unresolved grievances include non-payment of staff salaries since April, failure to implement the national minimum wage, casualization of workers, lack of operational vehicles and work tools, as well as non-provision of personal protective equipment since 2021.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, says President Bola Tinubu is creating employment opportunities for Nigerians through the provision of infrastructure. Mr. Wike stated this in Abuja while inaugurating the construction of the Solomon Way from the Obafemi Awolowo Way to the Airport Expressway. The FCT Minister, while noting that the provision of road infrastructure was key to the development of the FCT, further reassured that adequate attention was being given to other sectors like health and education.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is working with stakeholders to ensure mandatory drug tests as part of requirement for the issuance of driver's license. The chairman of the agency, retired Brigadier General Buba Noah, who announced this in Abuja at a summit for special marshals of the Federal Road Safety Corps, said such measures would help to reduce the spate of road crashes in the country. He maintained that NDLEA would train FRC officials to conduct on-the-spot drug tests for commercial drivers in the country. Retired Brigadier General Moniya, represented by the Deputy Commandant General of Narcotics, Mr. Omoro Ambrose, expressed optimism that the collaboration would enable FRC and NDLEA operatives to assess drivers and passengers during joint highway operations. The Deputy Corps Marshal Pauline Olai said the event was an opportunity to reflect on past achievements, confront present challenges, and chart new strategies to improve road safety in Nigeria.
The Nigerian Police Force has trained its operatives on the use of the newly developed criminal database systems. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Betokun, who declared the event open in Abuja, said the training, which goes beyond routine exercise, signaled a beginning of a new era in Nigerian policing. Mr. Betokun explained that the criminal database systems will serve as the memory of the justice system to enable the police track repeat offenders, detect crime patterns, strengthen prosecutions, and seamlessly share intelligence across divisions, zones, and even with global partners. He urged them to approach their duties with professionalism, integrity, discipline, and urged the officers undergoing the training to recognize the critical role they play in safeguarding the nation's future, maintaining that their diligence and accuracy in handling records could determine whether suspects walk free or face justice.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Bros, yeah. I don't do my motor come again, no. Help me catch up, sharp, look at the move. Oh, God, Titus. You see this your motor, eh? If you no break it down, fix am well. It no go work. Same thing with our country. What do you concern my motor with our country? They follow. Okay, all these reforms where our government do not be soft work now. It depends for body, but the result don't be show. Now with the CNG stations full ground, agriculture don't dey work. They balance. Even experts for this, they talk am. But body still dey pepper us now. Body still dey pepper us. We dey recovery, my brother. Na small. Nigeria don dey better. Na true. Yes, now.
The Citizens Connect initiative talk am. The National Broadcast Academy, Ikeja, Lagos, announces another set of basic courses in broadcast presentation,
Broadcast production,
broadcast journalism,
broadcast engineering,
media marketing,
digital studio management
and information and communication technology.
from September 29th to November 7th, 2025.
Lectures held Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. for 6 weeks.
Prospective candidates must be degree or HND holders.
School certificate holders with credit in English may be considered.
Admission form can be obtained online at www.napba.edu.nj.
National Broadcast Academy is at number 1A Adekule Fajuyiwe, Ikeja, GRA, Lagos.
For further information, call 0805-307-8029
Or 0803-394-1805.
or go on the social media platform facebook.com/mbacademy.nj.
Announcer, the management.
The Nigeria Prize for Literature is one of the richest and most prestigious literary prizes in the world. It was established in 2004 by the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, NLNG. Today, the prize is celebrating 20 years of recognizing excellence in Nigerian literature on Radio Link, a Radio Nigeria audience participatory program this Saturday. We will focus on the topic, the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Our guest shall be the chairman of the Nigeria Prize for Literature Advisory Board, Professor Akachi Adimora Ezigbo, the general manager of external relations and sustainable development at NLNG, Dr. Sophia Hosfeld, an Anglo-Nigerian novelist, Nikki May, a celebrated voice in contemporary African literature, Chigozie Obioma, and a dynamic cultural storyteller, Obindamola Olubile. You can be part of the program by dialing 0700-700-0977. You can send us either WhatsApp or SMS only on 0901-133-9791. You could also send us emails on frcnkindAffairs@yahoo.com. Radio Link takes the air every Saturday on the network service of Radio Nigeria from 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Join us.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Thank you for staying tuned. The National Health Insurance Authority has launched the neonatal component of its comprehensive emergency obstetrics and neonatal care program in Kano State as part of efforts to expand health services to vulnerable populations. The initiative was inaugurated with the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the authority and Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. The Director General of the authority, Dr. Kelechi Ohiu, said the pilot phase was already operational in 4 facilities in Lagos, with the teaching hospital and 3 other hospitals in Kano State selected for implementation. Dr. Ohiu, represented by the Director of Informal Sector, Dr. Sikiru Salahuddin, said more than 200 facilities nationwide were currently implementing the maternal component of the program, with over 14,000 women treated. The chairman of the Medical Advisory Committee, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Professor Abdurrahman Suwaid, described the hospital as the largest beneficiary in the country, as over 900 women had been treated at the facility.
Meanwhile, the National Health Insurance Authority has recorded a milestone in maternal and child health with the successful delivery of its first set of quadruplet at the Federal University Teaching Hospital at the Bauchi State under the Emergency Obstetric and Neonatal Care Program. The Director General, National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Kelechi Ohiu, who congratulated the management and staff of the hospital for the development, said the babies, 2 boys and 2 girls, were delivered through a cesarean section. Dr. Ohiu, represented by the Bauchi State Coordinator, Dr. Mustafa Mohammed, during a visit to the facility, congratulated the family of the quadruplet for a safe delivery.
The federal government has reaffirmed commitment to eliminate rabies by the year 2030, describing it as one of the deadliest zoonotic diseases in the country. At a joint news briefing ahead of this year's World Rabies Day in Abuja, the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Meha, expressed government's determination to stamp it out through the One Health approach. He said the ministry had started rolling out nationwide vaccination campaigns for dogs and cats, alongside intensified public sensitization programs. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock Development, Dr. Chinyere Agujobi, represented by the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, Stephen Oweri, said rabies was 100% preventable through vaccination and responsible pet ownership. She added that the ministry was prioritizing capacity building for veterinary officers and expanding diagnostic facilities to ensure that states have the technical support they need to respond to outbreaks.
Lagos State and other states of the Federation, including the FCT, have been urged to support farmers in adopting climate-smart agriculture and using organic fertilizer. Food production while mitigating the impact of climate change. The Director General of the Niger State Agency for Green Initiatives, Dr. Habila Galadima, made a call during the Subnational Policy Dialogue on mainstreaming climate change adaptation into state development plans held in Lagos. Dr. Galadima said the Niger State government recognized the need to leverage the state's vast potential to play a significant role as a subnational contributor to Nigeria's climate goal. Galadima stressed the importance of innovative techniques such as precision farming, efficient irrigation, and organic soil enrichment to achieve long-term agricultural sustainability.
The state government has already established a blueprint for transitioning Niger State into a green economy. So that we are bringing awareness. That process will build Niger State in terms of production, in terms of farming, other social activities. So by that process, the effects of climate change will be reduced to some extent.
Dr. Galadima added that hydro-agricultural development were crucial in the fight against climate change.
A governorship aspirant in Ekiti State on the platform of the
We take this now. The Association of Organic Agriculture Practitioners of Nigeria will today converge on Abuja to discuss ECOWA's strategy on youth employability program. The program, which draws participants from across the country, is aimed at training youth on organic agriculture value chain. We have with us live here in the studio now the President of Association of Organic Agriculture Practitioners of Nigeria, Professor Jude Obi. Thanks for joining us, Prof.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerians.
Let's begin this way. Can you explain what the program is all about and its impact in Nigeria?
Now, the ECOWAS strategy on youth employability is an invention from ECOWAS to solve two problems that are existing and confronting us. The first one is increasing number of youths that are coming. As a matter of fact, the population of West Africa, because ECOWAS is West Africa based, the population of West Africa is dominated by between 60 and 70% youths. And among these youths, about close to 40 to 50% are between the age of 15 and 35. And these people continues to come out. There's no means of livelihood for them. There's no employment. Government cannot employ all of them. The public sector, the private sector cannot employ all of them. That is a problem on one side, and because of that, they are migrating both internally and externally, and their life is being endangered, and facility is being affected by their movement. On the second part, the problem of food insecurity and availability is confronting us, and we have to attend to this problem. So the only way ECOWAS felt that it can be done is to train these youths and bring them into organic agriculture so that they will help in food production, and the problem of migration will be solved, and the problem of food availability will be solved. So with that, we now started this program.
Well, but we understand that many youth have been selected across the country for this program. What is the mode of selection you want to let us on into it?
Okay, what happened is that ECOWAS gave us opportunity to train 270 youths, but we decided to use the same resources to train 300 youths. So what we did was to design a recruitment application form, which was distributed to all the youths in this country. And because I'm a university lecturer, I know what the youths want. Put anything for the youths in their phone, and they will be happy with it, and they are sensitive. So we use all social media to approach them, and it is interesting to know that we want to recruit 300 youths for this program. But after bringing out the application, we got 14,900 and something applicants. So it is out of this that we screened it down, but during the screening we insisted that every state of this federation must be represented. So in the screening and selection, every state was represented, and the youths within the age of 18 and 35 were selected for this training, and we have actually started the training, but today is the launch of the training.
Okay, don't you think people in rural areas that do not have, I'm talking about the youth that do not have access to technology, and just as you use the social media to gather your, to select these individuals, don't you think they will cut off from this exercise?
I must tell you that because of the penetrability of internet in this country, all youths were covered. And if you look at, because in our selection, in our application form, part of what we required is that you have to tell us where you are filling the form from, and that shows that every location was covered, every state was covered, and people in rural areas were covered, because internet penetrability in Nigeria is already high.
Okay, what should we expect at the end of the program in terms of sustainability? It's one thing to begin a program, and it's another to sustain it.
Yeah, we are strategic in this. One of the most important things we did, we approached the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. So we are actually carrying out this activity in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. So we have approached them. We are going to a memorandum of understanding with them so that they will take ownership of this program. And we are grateful to the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture. He has already taken ownership, and he has invited 3 departments in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, that is Farm Input Support System, Federal Department of Agriculture, and Department of Extension, to have an understanding with us and help the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to take ownership of this program, so that after training, this one will continue. It is actually a 5-year program that we MOU that we signed with ECOWAS. So we train these young people every year for 5 years. That is 1. 2, we are bringing what is called startup pack for them, so that after training they will have something they will use to start life. But beyond that, we are grouping them into cooperatives where a pool of money will be kept for them to be drawing as they move on. And finally, after training, we are not leaving them alone. We attach them to people that were called mentors, that will draw them as they are moving. They will continue to guide them. Our target is to make this successful, because once this is successful, it then means that this system, this prototype will be replicated, and more Nigerian youths will get employed, and food will be available, and our young people will leave the street.
All right, we end it there. Thank you so much, Prof, for speaking to us this morning on this program.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
That was the President of Association of Organic Agricultural Practitioners of Nigeria, Professor Jude Obi, on a forum organized to discuss ECOWAS strategy on youth employability. Once again, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
A governorship aspirant in Ekiti State on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, Mr. Kayode Ojo, says the desire to propel development and have a strong support base for President Bola Tinubu in 2027 are the driving forces behind his aspiration. Mr. Ojo, who stated this shortly after undergoing screening for the APC primary election in Abuja, expressed readiness to make sacrifices to ensure the success of the party at the polls. He said if elected, Ekiti State will be a project that the people of the state will remain hopeful and fulfilled to belong to.
Whatever mode the party decides, that's what we follow. I stand with the party. And this election is a defining moment in the history of Ekiti State and the re-election of President Bola Tinubu. We are going to deliver Ekiti for Mr. President.
Another aspirant, Mrs. Abimbola Olawumi, who was also screened, said if given the mandate, it would be an opportunity to consolidate on what she had been doing for the state.
I've always been training and empowering women, empowering youth. I've worked as an entrepreneur. I built roads. The year Ikole Road, I did the rehabilitation in 2018. So when it comes to building infrastructure in the state, when it comes to experience in the governance, I'm a good candidate. I'm bringing the best experience on board.
The aspirants pledged to accept the party's choice on the load of the primary election and other decisions related to the exercise that are within the party's constitution.
Now to Ebonyi, the Ebonyi State Independent Electoral Commission is to conduct the next local government election on August next year. The chairman of the commission, Mr. Patrick Enyi, announced this at a stakeholders engagement on the conduct of the election. Amechi Odo reports.
The tenure of 7 elected chairmen, vice chairmen, and councillors in the 13 council areas in Ebonyi State will expire on 1st September 2026 in accordance with statutory contemplation of Ebonyi State electoral law, which provides for 2-year tenure. Consequently, the State Independent Electoral Commission announced 22nd August 2026 as the date for the conduct of a fresh election by way of ushering new chairmen, vice chairmen, and councillors in the local government areas. The chairman of the commission, Mr. Patrick Enyi, pointed out that FSEC will publish election guideline on 17th October this year, while sale of forms will hold on 14th November this year, in line with the commission's commitment to ensure that the will of the people counts and the integrity of the electoral process protected. The chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council in Ebonyi State, Dr. N.S. Mweze, said political parties were ready to perform their duties provided FSEC was ready to correct the wrongs of the past where electoral processes were shrouded in secrecy.
As long as the commission sees the part, the political party will play according to the rules.
Head Voter Education Independent Electoral Commission in Ebonyi State, Mr. Victor Oko, promised that INEC was ready to provide FSEC with the technical support and the needed manpower to ensure a heat-free exercise.
Going forward to your election, will give you the necessary assistance that you require.
The special assistant to the governor on inter-party affairs, Comrade Sunday Wambam, said the state government had given the commission its support to conduct credible election that will stand the test of time. In Abakaliki, Amici Odo, Radio Nigeria.
In the meantime, the African Democratic Congress ADC has ordered all its members to resign membership of other political parties. The party, which stated this after its caucus meeting in Abuja, was however silent on the timeline. The party, through its spokesman, Ms. Malam Bonaji Abdullahi, stated that all their presidential aspirants have agreed to support whoever wins the primary election. According to Malam Abdullahi, the National Working Committee will announce dates for election of candidates for the off-cycle governorship elections in Osun and Ekiti states.
It's already 23 minutes past 7. You're listening to the news on the network service of Radio Nigeria. In the headlines this morning, Nigeria and Kenya to strengthen collaboration on space technology. Federal government has expanded emergency neonatal services in Kano State. Niger State government to adopt climate-smart agriculture. Still to come, experts advocate ethical use of nuclear energy. Plus sports news, commentary, cyberscope, newspaper headlines, and weather reports. Stay with us.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Are you dreaming of owning a home but think it's beyond your reach? Think again. Join us on Everyone Deserves a Home, powered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. That's right. Get ready to discover how you can become a proud home owner with expert advice, up-to-date reports on housing innovations, and answers to your questions on affordable housing. Tune in to Everyone Deserves a Home and find out how the Federal Mortgage Bank is making home ownership a reality for all. Don't miss it. Everyone Deserves a Home, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home, and with the Federal Mortgage Bank, it's within reach.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Experts have called for ethical utilization of nuclear energy to safeguard lives and the environment. They made the appeal as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark this year's International Day for the total elimination of nuclear weapons. Adonka reports.
The world will not forget in a hurry the incident of 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, when United States dropped the first ever nuclear bomb during the Second World War. Its effects were not only unprecedented but horrible, causing grave health challenges and environmental pollution as a result of tons of radioactive materials released into the atmosphere. Against this backdrop, the United Nations General Assembly voted that every 26 26th September will be set aside to sensitize the global population on the need to eliminate nuclear weapons. The effect of the nuclear bomb is massive, causing water and air pollution, as explained by an environmentalist, Professor Haldunus Oko.
The major problem is not just the detonation or the use of nuclear weapons, but the radiation from it could become a form of mushroom in the air, in water, in soil, and even in groundwater. It affects both plant, animal, microorganisms of any category that comes into contact with the radiation and the impact on ecosystem.
One of the reasons for the proliferation of nuclear weapons is politics among world powers. In this regard, a professor of political science, Dr. Sylvester Ekani, called on the members of UN Security Council to be intentional in the war against proliferation of weapons of mass destruction.
This is spelled out in Article 7 of the UN Charter, enforcing and intervening in crises that are likely to endanger global peace. If they can build a consensus, then we might be able to establish global peace.
A physicist, Mr. Chinedu Iketi, who described nuclear energy as the energy from the nucleus of an atom, enumerated the importance if properly used.
Nuclear power plants provide steady, low-carbon energy that reduces our reliance on fossil fuels. In medicine, radioisotopes diseases like cancer and even to treat them. In agriculture, preserves food by eliminating pests and improves safety in aviation, construction, and oil pipeline.
As the world commemorates the day, the message of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stands out. Nuclear weapon possessing states lift the shadows hanging over humanity. In Port Harcourt, Ada Onka, Radio Nigeria.
The International Center for Migration Policy Development, in collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, has trained over 70 teachers on anti-human trafficking. Samuel will say brings details.
The organizers of the training said it was a step-down capacity building workshop on the recent national level training of trainers held in Enugu and was geared towards strengthening the integration of anti-human trafficking content into the education sector. Zonal Commander, Native Benin Zonal Command in charge of Edo and Delta States, Sam Ofia, said the training was to improve the capacity of teachers drawn from colleges of education, who in turn will cascade the knowledge they acquire at the workshop to the students and other members of their various school communities to make them well informed about the trends and dangers of human trafficking in schools.
The infusion of human trafficking in the curriculum of the colleges of education will go a long way to help the students, because the teachers, after getting this knowledge, will go back to the schools to impart this knowledge on the students.
The Native Benin Zonal Commander, who advocated the need for political will and societal change in combating the challenges in the fight against human trafficking, said government should look inward to restructure and strengthen the criminal justice system of the country. ICMPD State Project Officer for Delta State, Ijoma David Ukoko, said the program funded by the government of Netherlands was to train the school community on anti-trafficking education.
Trafficking is not just cross-border, it is domestic. It's a pipeline. How can we stop the supply side? The supply side means that we have to prevent people from being made vulnerable to the evil of the society.
The State Project Officer for Delta State, Ijoma Ukoko, had earlier given an overview and achievements of the school's anti-trafficking education and advocacy project since its inception in 2024. There were various paper presentations, including the guidelines for implementation of trafficking in persons content in NCE minimum standards by Anthony Undibusi of the Federal College of Education Technical Asaba. Participants at the workshop thanked the organizers for the training, which they described as key to tackling human trafficking. From Asaba, Sam Iluse, Radio Nigeria.
The Kwara State Police Command has rescued 7 kidnapped victims in a joint security operation carried out at a forest near Owanire community. A statement by the Public Relations Officer, Adetoun Adeyemi, says the operation led by the security operatives attached to the Office of the National Security Advisor, in collaboration with police officers and vigilantes, encountered armed resistance from the kidnappers, leading to a fierce exchange of gunfire. The statement explained that the criminals were forced to abandon their hostages and escape deeper into the forest, while all 7 victims were safely rescued. Items recovered from the criminals' hideout included 3 motorcycles and 9 empty magazines of AK-47 rifles.
Now to Adamawa, the Adamawa State Government has approved the sale of 1,000 housing units at the State Housing Estate, Malkohi. in the Yola South local government area. The estate, which had been stalled for years due to inflation and economic challenges, is now being completed under Governor Finch's administration. Correspondent Babagana Galion completes the report.
The Commissioner of Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Arambe, who also serves as the chairman of the Housing Estate Committee, described the development as a significant milestone in addressing the housing needs of civil servants in the state. He explained that Governor Fintric approved the sale and allocation of some of the houses to civil servants.
His Excellency has approved the construction of what to make to work the entire houses.